Feel the rhythm of the streets, neon lights and neon dreams. Bloody face, they feel no pain when there's so much more to gain. Hunting season, if you will, tell me where'd you rather be? I can hardly see the moon. Hope we'll get there pretty soon. Trying so hard to release you out of the misery. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. I'm not strong enough right now. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. Oh my.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is your T-shirted historian, and my voice probably sounds pretty bad right now because I've had some wonderful sinus interaction type stuff going on with some drainage. So, yeah, if it sounds like I've been gargling with, a razor blade or something, yeah, it's kind of how it feels too. So I apologize. I mean, I could always put my voice changer on, and that would really be kind of fun. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Elle is asking me about my comments. I check my comments pretty regularly here now. As far as I know, nothing of yours is being held. As a matter of fact, I just clicked the, approve all comments, L. So if there's something being held, I don't know what it is, what you're referring to. It's possible that the system cycled it out already because it does that every few weeks or so. So I don't know what that's all about, dude. But hey, anyway. All right, hey Cal, it's good to see you, buddy. And Brett Cohen, it's nice to see you. Silverlock, it's good to see you. Zax, how you doing? Yeah, well, let's take a look at our panel right now. We have El Victor.
Hoi iedereen.
We have Mr. Grimm. We have Ash. Nice to see you, Ash.
You too.
Mr. Ryan David Nerdcognito is back with us.
Hey, everybody.
And Ironcaster, who is muted right now. He's probably doing something. He's backstage. He's doing something. Anyway. Yeah, so my voice is garbage right now. So if I'm hard to understand, I do apologize. I may just have to lean on my panel to do all my talking for me. But
Well, that's what you have a co-host for.
that's true.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh shit, I just remembered.
Fuck.
Crap, I have responsibilities.
But yeah, anyway. So yeah, as far as stuff going on Twitter, the Tim Pool situation, don't know anything about it. Don't really care, to be quite honest. I try not to get involved in YouTube drama or anything like that if I don't have to, unless it involves somebody that is a friend to me directly or something like that. Otherwise, I just kind of like stay out of it, and it's not my business. So I have no real comments for that stuff. The Hogwarts Legacy stuff. I was hoping I'd have Fat Steven Seagal on here today because I know he's been playing the hell out of it. So I guess it's pretty good. I think Victor is playing it now too.
I bought it. I haven't started it up yet. I just haven't had time. But
Okay. Oh my God, it's Felbrig. Felbrig, I haven't seen you in forever, man. It's nice to see you. Anyway,
he's on Teacher Historians Gilded server all the time, which you're also on. You just never say anything.
I have a Gilded server?
Well, you're on his server.
Oh.
Oh, not Teacher Historian. Sorry, the Basic Expert.
Oh.
You're both Latinos. I get you mixed up. So
Naturally. They all look the same.
yeah.
Hey, Love Fist. It's nice to see you. Yeah, I need to get on my Gilded server on the Gilded server a little bit more because it's cool. It's a nice place, but I'm always forgetting about it.
It's the biggest TTRPG server on Gilded.
I know. Don't take it personally. It's like I got about 50 million Discord channels I don't ever check in either.
So
Yes.
do I.
Like mine.
Yeah, it's just something I don't do. I mean, I don't know. I pretty much I make all my interaction just is Twitter these days. So I know I'm a bad historian, but
it's the path of least resistance.
It really is. And the other part of it too is, I'm a working stiff, so half the time it's like I got no time. Maybe one of these days, I'll declare disability or something. Like I'll have all day to read through it or something. I don't know. But until then, I'm a working stiff and I get to things when I can. But yeah. So Hogwarts Legacy. I'll be honest, I ain't got a dog in this fight. Me personally. Because I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I watched the first two films. They were okay. They didn't really grab me. I didn't see anything there that was revolutionary, awesome, or that I just absolutely had to see more of. Didn't read the books. Video game came out. Don't really care. I mean, sorry. I got other stuff I'd rather play. So
I read all the books. I read all the movies. I enjoyed them. It's not a lifestyle. Like some people take it way too far, but they're enjoyable. They're like fun, like thing to pass the time. But I always thought the most interesting character was Hogwarts itself. I like the idea of like this crazy magical castle with all these secrets that not even the people that live there and teach there know. So the idea of just going around in this open world and actually getting to explore the castle and all the weird shit that's in there, yeah, that sounds fun. So I was like, yeah, I'll buy the game. And all the other stuff surrounding it, I don't care. It's like It's all based on lies anyway.
I care more about the online fuss than I do about the game or about the story or anything at all. It's just fascinating to look at the reaches people are making to come up with reasons to hate it. It's like they even went and they put a trans character in it to show the allyship or whatever of the people who made the game, even though it's set in the 19th century, when things were a lot less accepting. And the reason they found to go after that character is, the name of the character is a dig at trans people because they're called Serona, Sir. Yeah, but it's the name of an old Irish goddess of healing, so...
Well, also, there was also the complaints that they were just a minor bit character, like a background character that had no impact on the game, as though, like, if you're gonna as though to imply that if you're gonna include a trans character, they must be a major part of the plot. It's like, come on, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, but you can make your character be trans if you want. So
yeah.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's an open world game where you get to immerse yourself into the world of Hogwarts. I had the pleasure of attending a Harry Potter wedding. There are some people that live, eat, breathe, and sleep it, and I think, unfortunately, the lead up to the game, with J.K. Rowling becoming sort of the target for that community online, it was just the natural progression. And from what I read, the game has sold great. So once again, irrational online knee-jerk reactions cause the opposite of their stated intent. I bought it just as a spite buy. I'll probably play it sometime in the next few weeks. I did just officially clear T-shirted. You'll be proud of me. I cleared every mission and every possible thing I could do in 2077. So I own Night City.
Nice.
Now I need something else to play. So maybe I will play Hogwarts just as a big old FU.
There you go. Since this is directly thrown at me, I'm the B in LGBT. Well, so I must hate the turf author. Okay. Well, L. I'm not the only B in the LGBT up on this panel right now because we got Victor, he's the B. We got Ash, he's the other B. Obviously, I have an ex who's trans. Honestly, I've never really bought into the whole J.K. Rowling is turf, and even if she is, I don't care. It's I support trans people. If she doesn't, that's on her.
If you look at the original shit that she actually said, it was very milquetoast, but through the game of telephone, it turned into like, oh, she wants to genocide trans people. So,
of course,
yeah,
of course, because she has blown up.
She has gotten less sympathetic over time, I think. But, if you're relentlessly and constantly attacked by people for years over what was initially nothing, I think that's a perfectly natural sort of reaction.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The thing that really bothers me about this whole situation is just the amount of attacking people have done on people by proxy. Like, they went after the lead developer on the game, Troy Levitt, last year because of a YouTube channel he had from like the 2010s when he was kind of going into a little bit of the anti-feminism stuff. They went after a woman from that retro game company whose name is escaping me. Purely for saying she was looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's not everybody's going to agree with me on anything, and that's fine. I'm not here to make the entire world think the same way I do. If they, whether she does or doesn't, it doesn't matter to me. We live in separate worlds as far as I'm concerned. She's a super duper rich author in England, and I'm a poor Mexican over in Texas. It's like our worlds are never going to cross. I don't read her books. I don't watch her movies. I don't play her games. Likewise, she doesn't know I exist. So, I don't care. Ash, what do you think about it? But
well, for me, I'm kind of a big-ish Harry Potter fan because I grew up on all the films. I've watched all the films multiple times. It's been a part of pretty much my whole life. But when I first saw this game, I actually wasn't sold on it. And then I started watching gameplay of it, and then I was like way more sold, and I was like, hell yeah. And I was gifted a pre-order of the game. I just haven't been able to play it yet because I've just been too busy with university. But I've got it. I'm planning on playing it, and I'm actually really excited because it's the Wizarding World. Like you get to explore as because Victor's already said, parts of the world that you wouldn't normally explore and actually see the castle up in close. And it's the most definitive Harry Potter game we've had thus far, because we've had other games, we've had Lego offshoots. I mean, I remember playing one of the, I think it was Order of the Phoenix that was on the Wii. I remember playing that ages ago, and that was still good. But I'd say this is, because of the open world aspect, because of what you can do, and actually because it's a Warner Brothers game, and like, I've played other Warner Brothers games like the Shadow of Mordor games, and the engine is decent, the gameplay is good, and I'm actually really excited for this game. So if you hate me for being excited about this game, well, come at me, bro.
Yeah.
Grim, what are you gonna say?
I think part of what's made it all so vicious is that the stories themselves are quite often about outcasts finding a place, and Rowling was hailed as this big feminist icon because she clawed her way to the. She's one of very few sort of rags to riches stories that are actually genuine when you dig down into it. You know, she was living in bedsits, essentially homeless, with her kids, telling them stories of an evening. You know, and then from that spanned this whole multimedia empire, and became fabulously wealthy. You know, it's a
Cinderella story.
It's a nice Cinderella story, and it was latched onto as a big feminist sort of fuck yeah story, and the characters, a lot of them are outcasts, and then it feels to a lot of those fans who really latched onto it for that reason that they've been betrayed somehow by her having entirely consistent feminist views on some of this stuff. So I can't fault anybody for loving a property, even if I don't feel the same way about it. People looked funny at us for loving Star Wars or whatever else.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, definitely.
It does look kind of stupid now, but it didn't. So I can't fault them for that. But I think, maybe a touch of over-identification and that sense of betrayal, I think, is really feeding into it.
Now, one thing I can comment on, I have seen people latching on to the thing about Hogwarts being the goblin genocide, which apparently the goblins are code for Jews, apparently, which is stupid.
That's a stretch worthy of Mr. Fantastic, I think.
It is. And oh my gosh, we have the guy with the lowest performing Kickstarter ever.
Yeah. Imagine not doing well on a Kickstarter. Couldn't be
Oh
me.
man, I mean, I'm so sorry, Guard, that your Kickstarter is doing so badly right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have so much anxiety about not making it to your stretch goals or anything.
Yeah.
Y'all done? We can move forward now.
I mean, I could go on.
We can keep going. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, how you guys doing today?
I bet you can even afford art.
For a minute.
You can afford art. Well, I'm using, to be fair, I'm using an artist who's not out there quite as much as she should be. So I'm using the book to more or less elevate her to where she should be. So I did an art stream where I was showing off the things she's doing. And she's a bit focused on doing like femboys, trying to branch out from the femboys a little bit. But she's like
Based.
She's like, all right. So I'm gonna ask a question, right? She goes, which races are the most femboyish? I'm like, why? She goes, no reason. Just curious. I was like,
here's my question, dude. You got 124 backers, but you have like 13,000. So it's like, Does that mean like
there-
everybody's giving you $1,000 a piece?
Well, there is a guy who I cannot tell you why he's doing this or was propelling him to, but he has given $4,000 by himself on the Kickstarter. One dude.
Is he trying to buy you a new gun or something?
I think I gotta send him feet pics or something. You know.
I mean, at least.
Yeah,
Like-
femboys.
It's just really
Yeah,
into femboys. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna make him wear the maid outfit again.
Yeah.
Again, there's that phrase again. Like, it's happened
Yeah.
once before. Yeah, it's happened
Yeah.
once
You,
before.
Yeah,
you're gonna just
yeah.
you gotta start
All right,
posting
mate,
more
bro.
workout,
Say that-
pics, bro.
You say this like you didn't go to the gun range in a maid outfit.
So those guys still remember me to this day. They're like, I walk and they're like, dress guy. Yeah, dress guy. How you doing? I'm like, hey,
You-
wearing pants today. I'm like,
You weren't the only one to shoot your load that day.
You must have left an impression on them.
well, the funniest part was that there was actually a full range that day. I was like, oh fuck. 'Cause I think figuring on a Sunday it'll be dead. No, everyone was fucking there. And all the husbands were like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And they're like talking to me. The wives were all mean mugging me, like, oh, did something wrong or something. Like, how dare he wear a maid dress at a range and look good in it, bastard.
He's gonna
You're
steal
pulling
our
more
man.
attention than they were. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Like, yeah.
The guy who brought the 50 caliber was like, "Holy shit! Did you see that?"
So I'm gonna buy your game. Well, I actually already pledged, but I'm gonna get your game, Godbro, and I'm gonna run a campaign where the party are tactical maid femboys.
Yes.
Art
And
must
hello-
be drawn.
Hello, Parrot Head, and hey, Legion. It's good to see you, Max. And who else do we got out there?
Steven. You can say I want feet pics.
There you go, Steven.
I've done
Shadow
worse
and
for
Funky.
$4,000. So
I ain't
for
gay,
$4
but a
grand.
grand, you know what I'm saying?
For $4,000, I'll show him my butthole. I don't care.
I'll give you $5,000 not to.
There you go.
I'll pay for that not to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest pledge I got on mine was like 500, and I was like already really happy with that. So I can't even imagine 4,000.
Bro, I'm like, what do I do for this? The plan is to have a whole page for just his name on the back of the book. Just this.
Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? We were up to 20 people. Guard Bro showed up, and we'd lost 4. What happened?
So it's all the fanboy talk and the maid uniforms.
Yeah.
Ew, I'm out of here.
That's what it
Too
is.
edgy
Yeah.
for some people.
Yeah.
They got
People are
something
like-
I gotta go take care of.
Yeah, suddenly.
This penis is way too feminine. Way too feminine. I gotta get out of here. So, what's on the docket for today? There's
Well,
lots of
we're-
news out there.
We're talking about Hogwarts to start with, and how apparently the goblins are Jews. I don't get that.
I saw that. I saw that.
I'm Jewish, to an extent.
Goblins own the banks. Like,
Yeah. So I mean, I don't get it. It's like people are trying to say, oh yeah, well that's a shamovar, that's a Jewish thing. And I'm kind of like, there were a lot of cultures that had horns that they used. Okay.
as the
Okay.
resident Jew, I don't understand it at all. I'm certified, ketubas on the wall, you name it, I've got it.
as the resident
It's
Jew.
it's a stretch, okay?
Okay, he said, you name it, you got it. What about foreskin? Hey, I've got you there. I've got you there.
That's gonna cost you $4,000.
No, but I'm saying you don't have it. He said, you name it, I got it. Well, I named it, you don't have it, though.
Show me your foreskin right now.
No, please don't.
Converted.
Okay.
So you grew it back? What's up?
I want my foreskin back.
They paid for
Yeah.
the battle pass.
You paid for the back.
Okay. Now that brings up a really interesting question. Well, this is probably a question I should not ask, but it crept into my mind suddenly. It's if you're playing D&D and you cast regeneration on someone, does that regrow too?
I guess it would depend which god is empowering your magic.
I'm a samurai again. Let's go. Samurai time.
Damn it! I gotta go get it cut again.
See, I
That
love
we need
how-
to know which D&D gods are for and against foreskins now.
See,
Or-
I love
or other
how
things.
Harry Potter is a,
That depends. That depends ultimately. Did the god demand the foreskin be cut off?
Well, actually, you could apply it to all sorts of things too. It's like if you cast, restoration or regeneration on somebody, does this mean that all their earrings and piercings and shit fall out?
Tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lolth is against foreskins.
Ew.
I fucking
No,
hate
she's.
sandworms.
Oh yeah, the more skin you have, the better. So she can use it to turn you into furniture.
She wouldn't want males having pleasure, so
Yeah.
Well, what else are you supposed to store the baby spiders?
I don't know.
good point. One way to cast the web spell.
Yeah. Do goblins clip the tip? I don't know.
I mean,
the
not
red
goblins.
Oh, here we go. We talk about foreskin now the view count came back up. We know what the viewers really want to talk about.
They hate fanboys. They love foreskins. What they're here for.
There we go. I don't know.
We live in this weird era where like, people keep saying like, "Oh, well, this thing is obviously an allegory for like this ethnicity," and then when we say it, like, "Well, I don't see it," we're somehow the racists. They're the ones that's like they're the ones that are saying Jews are goblins, and then when I'm like, "No, they're not," they're like racist. I'm like, what? It's opposite worlds. It's like I don't get it.
It's the whole like orcs are black people thing argument again. They can't help but see through a racial lens, and it's like
Actually,
you're so tiresome.
You want to know something funny? Okay, and this is true. Okay, I have a copy of My Farog as a review copy because I was curious about it. And even though Varg did include a race of people called the Bronze Men who do have lower stats than all the other characters and all the other races, he also has orcs in his bestiary, and they're not particularly black or anything. They have more in common with Tolkien orcs than anything else. So even Varg doesn't think that orcs are black people, apparently.
Yeah, even like the avowed white supremacist is like, nah.
No, don't believe that.
Yeah. So like
So there we go. I mean, every racist has a silver lining, I guess. I don't know.
Varg is better than Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
Yes, apparently. I don't know.
It's
a weird world we're living in, man. I don't understand it anymore.
I love how the Harry Potter, the game, is now a great allegory for why teachers should carry. So if you look in the chat here, I have a screenshot because it's true though. Like a mass spelling. Like, what do you mean? You're like a mass abracadabering. Like, well, no, because all teachers carry. They've got a wand on. They can stop the abracadabering. It's like, imagine. But I love how polarizing a fucking wizard game is at this point. Like,
yeah.
The alt-right Harry Potter pipeline rides again.
Well, I mean, and you got people just kind of coming out of the woodwork to go after people who are streaming it and stuff. Even I'm just kind of like, why?
They made a
mass
site.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Victor.
Oh no, they made a site that tracks whoever streamed it on Twitch, so they can basically be cancelled afterwards.
Exactly.
Like, it's wild.
I don't get it. I mean,
Nazis tried the exact same thing in real life. They track a certain person demographic, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's
different.
The outrage feels very choosy though, and I think we all saw that clip of that TikTok clip with the black guy who was like, talking to himself, and it was like doing this back and forth. It's like you're not mad. You're on Twitter. You're not mad at Elon Musk, who says way worse things about pronouns and trans people. He like openly laughs at pronouns and stuff. But you're here on Twitter. You're basically helping him, maintain and build his platform. Why aren't you protesting Lego Harry Potter? Why aren't you protesting Universal?
Studios,
yeah.
Yeah,
because this one has traction. That's all it is. It's the bandwagon. It for whatever reason, probably because it was big enough for mainstream whatever to pick up on. This has traction, so they hopped right on the carousel, and we went from we hate trans people to Jew goblins. Whatever's going to come around next is who knows.
Parrot Head, that's a cool meme. I'm not going to put that up there. What are you trying to do? Get me killed?
Well,
No.
before this, they were mad about Cyberpunk 2077. So I think they just need like a game to latch onto that they can hate and be, virtue signal about. I think it's just, I don't know. It's just something they need. They feed off of it. They're like
Troll
yeah.
lives matter,
weird
man.
social
Troll
justice
lives matter.
vampires.
I tell you what's probably going to come out next is let's see, how far out are we from Starfield? A few months. Esh,
Who
you know?
knows? Who knows? They haven't said anything. There's going to be a Starfield showcase at some point soon, within the next month or 2 months.
What's Starfield?
Oh, gotta
Yeah.
catch up, bro.
If I had to sum up Starfield, it's basically No Man's Sky, Skyrim, Fallout, and Cyberpunk all just mushed together.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It sounds pretty cool. It looks really cool from the trailers, but at the same time, it's Bethesda, so it's probably going to be a buggy mess built on, the Morrowind engine.
well, if it
Better
works.
I mean,
Solid
those
creation
were all
engine
buggy
to go.
games, so they're trying to combine them all into one super bug.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One bug to rule them all.
They're going to put an achievement in for when you have to use a console command to finish a quest. So,
But then at the same time, we're gonna get like some amazing mods probably, especially once you can be like a fanboy astronaut or like an astronaut with giant breasts. So yeah,
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
sure
plus
that's
side-
probably what they're going
On
to
the plus side,
cancel.
Todd Howard's gonna be able to put an achievement in the game to where you buy a copy of Skyrim.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
No, you
No,
have to
and
pay
then-
a copy of Skyrim in the
Maybe you
game.
can play Skyrim on one of the in-game computers.
Yeah.
Work.
Well, you can
work.
It just works.
you
But
can
it's
you
a
can
DLC.
design
So good.
you can design your own spaceships and stuff in it. So if I build a giant ship that looks like a penis, I'm sure somebody will get upset with that. So
If he was funny, he would legit do that. Have like a computer in game and as a DLC, and just have it be like the actual price of Skyrim. You just get to play Skyrim in the in-game, computer on your spaceship. That would be
Why not?
hilarious.
that would be
laugh about that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I would pay for
Pay
that
for it.
too because it would be funny.
Yeah,
You pay for it with real world money.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. I
The
would.
only DLC worth the price, $40 for Skyrim.
Oh god. That would be funny. Actually, there was a bug on God, what game? Well, I think it was Fallout 76. There actually was a bug that installed Skyrim instead. There really was. I'm not kidding.
That's funny.
There was.
One. Yum, 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 yum.
Well, it's because it's all the same engine, so they probably just took the Skyrim engine and then started building Fallout off of it, and it probably just had like some exe somewhere or a little piece of code where it's like, oh, if you like do this, like the game starts up, and it just never changed. They never changed it from Skyrim to Fallout. So
It's probably true, though. That's the problem, though. It's probably
Yeah.
very true, to be honest with you. It's kind of weird how people keep cutting corners on everything nowadays. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, what you're playing or reading. It's always cut corners everywhere. And it's like, it's like the love of creating games has died. The love of writing has died. It's just like, let's just throw out some code, get these idiots to buy it.
Well-
Look at like the last 4 or 5 Modern
Oh,
Warfare.
okay.
games.
I have to disagree with that. Okay, because there's a lot of really good indie games that are still really, really good, and they're coming out from studios, and they're quality stuff.
We all know that
I
indie
threw-
games don't count.
Well, I threw Grim one not so long ago that apparently it went under everybody's radar, but it is by the same guys who did Fallout New Vegas. Is it Black Isle Studios or whatever? Or not Black? Who is it?
Something like that.
Obsidian.
Obsidian, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why
Obsidian.
why they're called indie games. They're based. The term indie has been attributed to love and care, or like the joy of creation. Why it's not just video games. There's AAA games. There's indie games. There's cash grab games. There's mobile plus games, and it's like the subgenres of all these kind of things. And usually, when you hear the word indie game in your ear, it usually means that it's going to be good. Like, think of the last 4 or 5 indie games that came out that weren't like huge successes, like Undertale or Finance of Freddy's or all those other little damn things. They're all indie games because they had, story behind them. They had a hook behind them. Like, compare the absolute rabid fan base of Undertale to like Call of Duty. Like, it's completely fucking different.
Let's just Call of Duty sucks. It has for a while now.
The
Call of
multiplayer,
Duty or
definitely, yeah.
Modern Warfare or anything that's AAA. Like, what's the last AAA game besides like
Cyberpunk.
Oblivion or some shit.
Cyberpunk was the last really good AAA game, in my opinion.
I've been having fun playing like little obscure games. Like one of my favorite games I've been playing lately is Power Wash Simulator.
A lot of
Are you
people
playing that? Howard, why?
I actually
Why?
want to buy that because it looks very relaxing.
A lot
You
of
see,
people like that one.
I can't afford an actual power wash, so I gotta simulate my power wash. And there's one. There's one where literally you're like the janitor after like a horror movie or some damn thing.
Yeah,
You know that one cleanup, Viscera cleanup detail. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of guys, they'll get off work and play that to relax. It's
Okay.
okay.
Well, let's see.
People watch TikTok videos of blackheads being sweet. You know?
They do. They do.
I have a buddy that is a CFO of a major corporation. Could not get enough of Gas Station Simulator last year. So
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It is, bro, you got to play Gas Station Simulator. I'm like, why are we playing Gas Station Simulator? And no, I got these aliens coming in, and they're gonna buy all my snacks. And I'm like, I just don't understand. Power Wash Simulator. If I want to go and clean things, I will pan my camera to the left, and you will see exactly how much I have to do.
Well, look, in my defense, it's the middle of winter in Michigan, so
Well, it's also you don't have like
gotta
giant
empty
cool
the trash
statues
cans,
and classic
Walter.
cars to clean.
Walter,
Well-
the aliens are coming in. We're out of snacks, Walter.
Okay. Well, like let's see. Okay. Here's the last few indie games I've picked up. Cult of the Lamb. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Little goat person.
Yeah, I had to pick that up. Everybody knows why. Pentiment
Like
is really good. I need to finish it. Grim needs to
I need
actually
to play
play
more
it.
of
So,
that. I have
yeah.
played it a bit.
oh, what do you think?
It's good.
It's good.
I like
far.
it. Good game. You like
That's it.
Why this was put up on Devolver.
Yeah. Fear and Hunger. And man, that is a hard game.
In Las Vegas?
No,
That
it's just called
sounds
Fear and
My Daily
Hunger.
Life. Fear
Yeah,
and Hunger.
Fear and Hunger in Las
That's
Vegas.
like Gargoyle Simulator right there. Fear and Hunger.
No, okay. Just shut your mouth while I educate you. Fear and Hunger was actually made by a Finnish guy who, basically, he was trying to get through a semester or whatever. So he built this game, this little mini game called Fear and Hunger, and it is the hardest fucking game I've ever played. But it's fun because it's so hard and it's miserable. It's like Misery Simulator. But it's fun, and he actually managed to sell it onto his professor, and he wrote a paper about it and everything about the mechanics and the background on it, and he passed his semester for it. And it's a cheap little game. He's made a sequel to it, Fear and Hunger 2. But it's a good game. It's worth it. It's hard. If you the only other thing that would be harder than this maybe would be trying to drive railroad spikes with your flaccid penis, but
I mean, that's not that hard.
Cut or uncut?
Either
How
one.
sexy are the railroad spikes?
My foreskin's getting caught in the keyboard. Walter.
I mean, just to tell you how rough this game is, my character at one point accidentally walked across. I didn't see it because of the way the sprites are made, but he tripped over a nail and tore his foot open and got gangrene in game. I'm serious.
Dysentery. Fuck.
Yes.
I just played Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2.
The last game I bought, was like a major release, was Bannerlord 2, and I got like 400 hours in that game, and that's the only one I really enjoyed because I bought Battlefield Gothic and I played. I was like, this is trash. I enjoyed Airport CEO more than I enjoyed Battlefield Gothic, like that little piddly airport game. I enjoyed that a lot more than like half the games on my little website here. I said think like the Half-Life 2. That thing is still people still play Half-Life 2 to this day.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like, well, why can't people just figure out that you need a story behind games? Like, what was it? Like, I like Bannerlord and like Dead by
What the hell was
Daylight.
that?
That was my cat knocking my microphone.
Trixie, no.
One thing worth noting is right now SNK has an 80% off publisher weekend on Steam. I picked up the 2019 Samurai Showdown game with all of the characters for $20. Totally
Wow,
worth
good
it.
game.
Totally worth it.
Damn show.
Yeah.
Does
I'm not a
Grounded
weeb.
does Grounded count as indie? That one game where you basically it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and it's like a survival crafting game where
Oh,
you're
I've
like
seen that,
these kids that are, and you get shrunk and you're like in the backyard, and it's actually it's really fun. It's kind of scary at night when like wolf spiders are hunting you and they're as big as like an elephant, but.
Noit is
Duncan
good.
Todd.
That's an indie one I played a lot of.
It was an Australia simulator, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wilder Myth
Much.
was fun. If you like role playing
Wilder-
games, you might like that.
I played that
Ash,
for
what
a
have you
bit.
played?
Still haven't time to play it.
Well, apart from it's just been Elden Ring and Genshin Impact. That's about it.
Genshin Impact.
You got sucked into Genshin Impact. How much money is that sucking out of your wallet?
I mean, if you look at all the art for Genshin Impact, there's a lot of sucking happening.
Well, it looks cool, but like I said, I was like, how hard is that hitting your wallet?
No comment.
That's what I thought.
Or as I like to call it, lolly-shin impact. Because there's too much fucking lolly shit in
Oh, and look at that
But-
guy, Guard Bro. Look at that guy. Yeah.
But I'm just
Aw.
like, the gameplay is actually good. So what do I do?
So
Yeah.
let's see. This week we also had the
Dome
Nintendo
Keeper is
Direct
cool.
that came up, and they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Metroid Prime remaster, Shadow Drop."
Yeah.
Metroid Prime remastered? Really? Interesting.
Oh yeah, and it's like now available, $40.
Wow.
So basically, they're trying to like refine the old games to try and get more money.
Hmm.
I've seen this play before. All right, boys, what we do? Let's take an old game, make it prettier. Jonathan, you're a fucking genius.
Pretty much.
Every time.
But it is because that was a quality, really detailed, crafted with love game, and we don't see that. You know, that's why we're going through the indie list. Which, to be fair, for every one that we named, there's probably 10 that are terrible. You know,
True.
they're gonna end up in the $5 you get 30 title mystery bundles.
Yeah.
Sexy
But,
Ant Simulator. Yeah, there are a few out there.
I introduced Ironcaster to Poker Quest, and that's a fun little game, and it's indie as hell.
And then I in turn got you Deep Rock Galactic.
Which I probably need to play more of that, but it's just kind of like there's so many other things. I got rehooked onto 7 Days to Die again, so especially when my friend started running his own server, so I play with him and his wife and stuff, and it's fun.
I was forced to play one. It's basically a tank dating game, and I was like, "That's sucking the soul out of my body." It was so
This
bad.
is exactly the type of game I would expect you to play.
Well, like, hey, Gord, play a game. All right, pick one. Play this tank dating game. Fuck it, I'll try it. I'm like, this is awful.
Are there femboy tanks in it?
Huh?
Are there femboy tanks in it?
No. If anything, that the tanks weren't thick enough. I was disappointed. They're too thin. I was like, this is stupid. A tiger
Fanboy with short little cannons.
A tiger tank
with
should
the
not be
barrels.
like a tiger tank should be all like heavy armor. Know what I'm saying? All right, tiger tank. Like this is not working for me. I'm out of here.
Did they all have short skirts?
It's Japanese. Yeah.
Oh, he said it.
Unless they were all Futa, it's not much of a tank simulator.
I see you get the long 75, don't you? Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, bro.
Lengthy and girthy.
Jeez.
So how much penetration that thing got? Anyway, we're out of here. Next subject.
And my stream was canceled. No.
Once again, I did not get you demonetized.
So we can't
Oh,
run
man.
the head Jew. I see how it is. Is that how it works?
Oh,
Ryan said it. He called that title himself.
he did.
Oh, indie game I played recently, Atom RPG. It's basically like it's
Oh,
like
I heard that's
Fallout
good.
Mixed, yeah, it's Fallout, like original, like isometric Fallout mixed with kind of like a stalker, like type
Yeah,
setting.
and it's
Yeah.
it's on sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was
Is it-
meaning
yeah.
to pick that up.
It's really
Is it the
fun.
one
It's
with-
cool.
Is that the one with all like the Russian aesthetic going on too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Russian.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Russian Fallout, basically.
There's that
That's hard.
FPS Soviet-oriented game as well that's out soon,
Stalker?
isn't it?
Atomic
No.
Heart.
Atomic Heart, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I'm waiting for that.
I don't see why I guess it's me looking inside from the outside the box. How's it so hard for them to meet with like good art and good gameplay and good story, making them all touch tips? Why is it so hard to do? I don't get it. Like, it's been done for generations. Command and Conquer had a good story. Command and Conquer had an overarching story with actors and shit. And it's just like, well, why can't they just figure that out? Okay, we got the graphics down, we got gameplay, story. No budget? Fuck it, send it. You know, like, write a story of some kind. Make us engage with the video game. Take us on a journey. Take us on an adventure.
But it is also true that most people just click through the story.
Yeah,
and don't pay
kinda.
any attention to it.
Zoomers anyway. No, come on.
Well, okay. To be fair, after you get so many video games and you've seen the same plot over and over and over, how much more interesting could it be?
You'll have to save the princess. Boo, she's male. Hello.
Yeah.
I admit, when I was younger, I would play like RPGs like Planescape Torment, and I would love like just talking to NPCs and like mining them for every little bit of scrap of like
Same.
lore and info. And nowadays, when I try to do that, I'm like I like get like 20 seconds in, I'm like, okay, I just want to go back to like hitting things with a sword now.
Same. Big
I
time
just
same.
lost all that patience.
Well, that's why you need an engaging story, not just like a boilerplate. There's a feudal system, king in danger, go do shit. All right, what's going to drag you in? Like, I think why Fallout New Vegas was so good because it was due to like it was a deep story.
I went back and played that again.
Yeah,
I've gone back and played it twice because it's fun. It's so much fun. Actually,
evil I'm gonna cross.
Hey,
it's so memorable.
I will have you know that yesterday I got all the way into Caesar's camp, murdered him before I went over there to do Honest Hearts, just so I could tell Joshua Graham personally, hey, I murdered Caesar and I'm going to make sure that the Legion collapses. Mm-hmm. You're doing God's work.
Because it's like, think about like New Vegas. There are like what 4 or 5 factions you can align with, and they all have interweaving stories. There's the Boomers, who are the best named clan ever made by a video game, because it's just like they're all Boomers, but they're Boomers, you know. Then you have Kaiser's camp. You have also spoiler alert, you haven't played this thing yet. There's
15 years old.
The king, the script, the kings, the brotherhood. Yeah,
there's
Good
the guy
Springs,
Mr. House,
yeah,
NCR.
Mr. House, NCR.
There's the cannibal arc with like it's like there's so much stuff to do.
Well,
like that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, so saying that game can chew up hundreds of hours.
Steven, you can hear how bad my voice is, huh? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the original Fallouts. I've been a fan of the Fallout series since like '96 when the first demo of Fallout 1 like dropped, and it was just like a version of Junktown that you could wander in. I love those games. So out of all the modern ones, Vegas is my most favorite because it actually like ties into the previous games. You like actually meet NPCs that talk about stuff that happened in like Fallout 2 and like whatever. And like the Fallout 3 like it had like a little bit of element of that, but like Fallout 4 like has none of that. They don't really talk anything about like any of the previous games.
You know, I would say you use Fallout as a Geiger counter to see how much how much games have died. Because you have the first, second, third, and fourth Fallout, which is the canonical Fallouts. And you see how the quality goes down like a freaking sperm whale hit by a boat, just down to the depths. And you can actually track it. You're like, what the hell happened? And it's like the last 2 games, it's been absolutely awful. Like just bad.
I think because of scope and scale, just like these dev teams have gotten so much bigger that you want to have more cooks in the kitchen. There's just more people involved, more pieces moving that can cause those problems. Like I'm playing right now
that are doing some things they shouldn't be doing, like equity.
Like I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I kind of hate this game.
Yeah, same.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I hate it, but you'll play it to completion. Unfortunately,
I actually loved Odyssey. Odyssey was great. It was like a cool, like ancient. I just didn't. So I'll just explain this. I just saw it as like a cool, like ancient Greece RPG, and I just ignored the Assassin's Creed aspect of it, basically.
Same.
Yeah.
Like I don't like all the like level up bullshit in this game. I'm just
Yeah.
why can't I just go run around? No, I have to go farm out gear to get to level 19. So, or I could pay Ubisoft like $5. It's like,
Ironcaster. Let me tell you a secret.
Ubisoft.
Okay, I'll tell you guys a secret, and you guys can take this one with you, and all you in the audience can listen to this too. I had the hardest time finishing The Witcher 3 because it's a huge game. There's so much to do. It's so much fun, but also so much stuff is level gated. You can't survive it without having a higher level.
Yeah.
So I did the ultimate sin, and I got a character editor, and I leveled up all the way to 50 to start the game. No, but seriously, this lets me enjoy all of the content without having to worry about level gating. It lets me get through encounters that might have been too difficult otherwise if I had a lower level, and I can just cruise through and enjoy the game. You know,
it does get very annoying, especially once you get older, where it's like, I really want to do this part of the story. It sounds really interesting, but I have to be level 30. I'm level 15, so I'm gonna have to spend like 3 days just grinding like shit just to even get to like this part that I actually want to get to.
Well,
so,
they do that to inflate they do it to inflate playtime. Instead of skill gating, it's like gear gating or level gating.
Yeah.
It's always some stupid thing. It's like, oh, you gotta go get the special chest plate. Like, oh,
Yeah.
And that's just due to that they did that just to inflate the game time, and it's very tedious. And it's basically like a cheat code for, well, our players get 100 hours, because you forced them to, you know. But I wouldn't really call that the biggest problem, though. It's definitely a minor problem. Things that can kind of ruin the gameplay experience for sure. But there are just so many freaking problems with the modern game. Not to mention the whole store thing. Like when you bought Command and Conquer back then, you got the entire game. Oh, the expansion for $10. I'll pick it up too. It's 2 complete games. Now it's like, we got a DLC for like I don't know, $20. You know, like, oh my god. We have this extra mission for $10. Just give me the fucking game, man. I already paid you $60 for the base product of what you're sending me.
Red Alert 2 had 2 campaigns in it.
Yeah,
well, it's like,
yeah.
Okay, so like I was playing through Wasteland 2. And Wasteland 2 is like brutal damn hard.
Yeah.
I got sick of it because I'd have to keep restarting, or I'd have to, keep trying to save scum. And even then I couldn't get through encounters. So, yeah, I eventually just edited the characters and just got like tons and tons and tons of levels. And it's like, yeah, okay, so I blow through encounters. I don't care. I get to enjoy the dialogue and the story, and I don't have to worry about overpowered boss bullshit, because a lot of it is.
That's why I enjoy the journey. Please, I beg you, let me enjoy your video game. It's because this is like what? This is the first video game was made roughly in 19 something, correct? You know, the first Pong game. We've had all this time to like refine the video game. Somehow we still fucked it. like how did we get here? Like, take yourselves back to like 90s, 80s, 90s, and like early 2000s video games, right? It's almost
I can go back that far, guard bro, but you're not that old.
Thanks. But anyway, so you can go back to all those times and look at those games and how you think by that time, after in 2023, we could be able to refine the greatest games imaginable. That somehow we still suck at it. I don't know what the fuck happened between then and now, to where we have like Star Citizen, which hasn't been out. It's been being made for the last 30, 40 years. Star Citizen, still not left out yet.
Oh god.
That started as a Pong mod.
It's like, what happened, man? It's just like either they're grifts or they're cash grabs or they're being beat to shit by a power washing simulator. Like it's just like I don't understand what went wrong.
They just have so much money to waste that they just follow every weird whim that they have. It's like, we gotta do this crazy thing instead of making a nice tight polished core game, and then once that is done you can start adding stuff once your main game is out. No, just we're gonna just spend 6 months just doing this weird shit, have realistic black holes that follow every physics of the real world. And
I think
that's
it
also
comes down...
because. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go. No, go on.
It's just it's just the cycle, right?
Yeah.
They're not focused on a tight core game because at launch there's already 5 DLCs.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. It's not an expansion, and they don't even use that word for half the marketing that's out there. You remember even 10, 20 years ago, expansion, you got excited. Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, expansion. It took a very tight core game that had a lot of thought and care in it, and it made it better. Now we're seeing the game and DLCs and season passes, and then
Battle
fine
passes.
if you want. Right. If you want a microtransaction to buy clothing or aesthetic stuff, more power to you. But I don't want to have to buy this season pass to get the experience that should be in what is now a $60, $70 title. No.
And then,
Yeah,
and then another one that's pissing me off is you got shit like Baldur's Gate 3, which released so far way in advance of being done. And it's like, every time I make any progress in the game, they release another patch, and I'm forced to recreate characters and go through the same fucking content I already beat again.
I'm so tired of that initial ship and the shit at the Goblin Gates and all that stuff.
Yes.
I'm so tired of that.
Fuck that shit.
That's only
You
been
paid them to beta test it.
Yeah.
Slowly sucking this off your body.
It's like by the time the game goes into full release, I'm no longer going to care.
Yeah.
But the early release stuff makes sense for small indie companies who might have cash flow problems, right?
Yeah.
So making it available for them to raise money that way, that's actually useful and helpful. But then when these bigger companies who already have lots of money behind them come in, they just abuse the system. It's the same with crowdfunding. You know, people like Modifius or Privateer Press or whoever else, they don't need to be using Kickstarter or Indiegogo at all.
No.
And they just suck all the life out of it for indie producers trying to produce books on there. I think part of the reason all of this big stuff sucks so bad is because there is so much money involved in these now, like, you know, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes, that it makes them very risk averse. And I think that's true of most big media. But you can't tell interesting stories or take interesting risks or come up with something new and bold and interesting if you're not willing to take risks. Which is why the indie producers, sure, a lot of what they produce is crap, but you also get gold coming out of there. And they can't replicate that because they can't take the same kind of risks. It was interesting that Sony used to do that a bit during the PS4 era, when you got things like Journey and what was that one with the petals flying around? You know, but they went out of their way to fund a few independent studios to produce risky, different games, and it was quite successful. But
Yeah.
Well, saying in order to evolve and progress, it needs to be risk. You are correct. You need to go and try and push the envelope. But people got really complacent, for sure. Just like, we'll just do a nice, safe game, nothing too special. Just get the shekels and call it a day. You know, it's honestly really tiresome when you like I have felt no excitement for a single game in the last 5 years. And nothing makes me go, I want to buy that. It's like, yeah, okay. Like right now, I believe, if my memory serves correctly, watching YouTube videos, right now there are more players playing classic WoW than retail WoW. Like they'll play retail WoW for a certain thing and then quit that and go back to classic WoW and play the old game, and they'll play that instead and wait for the new content on the retail game. It's just I don't know. It's so anti-logical. I can't understand it. I was like, how we get here?
WoW brings up something else though, because the other factor in the risk avoidance is people trying to do the same thing that someone else has already done.
Yeah.
Like when MMOs were at their height, everyone was trying to be the WoW killer. True. And a lot of games that came out, were trying to be WoW but something else. Just like in tabletop games, we had the Fantasy Heartbreaker thing. Oh, it's D&D but something different. To the point where even single player games were imitating WoW. It's just
The funny thing is, there was a bit of a parallel between WoW and D&D, where the thing that ultimately was the killer was themselves. Blizzard had all its mishaps last year, where everyone fled to Final Fantasy, and well, we all know how D&D went.
Well, it's also them leading to a little bit too much into, well, let's just call it what it is, wokeness, and just trying to appease a certain very small subsect of
the
fans.
smallest demographic ever made by mankind.
Yeah, like that's why you got in WoW. Like all of a sudden, they went and like changed paintings in the game. Like there's like this dungeon or raid that like paintings on the walls of like hot elf chicks. They went and changed them. It's like a flowers now or something, or like a basket of food, because hot elf chicks are offensive now apparently. So, and that's
I agree. It should be hot male dwarves. I agree.
Yeah, I
entirely.
agree.
Uncut.
But I'm old enough when
Uncut.
I'm old enough when games being edgy and kind of like pushing the envelope and just like not caring what like society at large thought. Those were like selling points. I'm old enough to play Carmageddon. That was like, I have no idea about you guys in America, but over here in Europe, that was like a huge deal. That's like there's this game where you just run over pedestrians. Like this was like like basically they wanted to like that ban it. It was like Doom all over again. And now, like it's like the Marge Simpsons, except now they're left wing instead of like right wing Christians. They're in charge now. It's like, well, I don't like it, so nobody else should be able to enjoy it. And companies are going along with that, so they're just like sanitizing everything that used to be fun and edgy and like, yeah. That's just.
I think we touched. Actually, I think we touched on this last time I was here, where things aren't really fun unless they're like a little bit edgy. Like when you think about it, certain music, it's a lot more fun because it's got edge to it. Certain movies, music, video games, it's that kind of edgy feel to it, that bit of dark, risque stuff that makes it more fun. Like think of like when jazz first came out, that was like the edgiest shit ever. Or like
Grim, what the hell is this?
That's the 3 gay dwarves that the Dragon's Crown artist did when people criticised his drawings of women.
Oh,
Grim delivered.
he did. Okay.
Where?
Oh no, I've seen plenty of gay dwarves.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh my god.
People post at my server all the time too.
It's like a big bear totem pole.
Yes.
Bear tower. Yeah, but like
It's
a
like
game-
episode 3 of The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Press F to intimidate elves.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's like, but the thing is, like, things are fun. Jokes are more fun. Like think of like dad humor versus like Dave Chappelle. Both are good. We're gonna laugh harder at one than the other. Like Dave
Yeah,
Chappelle
dad humor.
or Bill Burr. Like people who are offensive. You're like, oh, it's hilarious because some jokes are just better. Like some offensive things are at times just better because it makes you react to it, whether it's anger or laughter or sadness. At least gets a reaction out of you. Like the games I love are games that make me want to cry. You know, like it's so well, or like I feel anger at the game. Like how motherfucker, like when I'm playing one game where I can't
feel
remember what
that.
it's called, but the game like the bad guy won. And I was so fucking angry. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was so mad that I realized that I loved how the game made me feel. And there are certain games where like the story's written so good to where I'm sitting there like trying to maintain manly composure while the things go along. Like, nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Nope. You're trying to maintain like your composure, and those are the best games, dude. The best
There's besides Cyberpunk 2077, the last 2 games that really made me feel that much was Soma, which I loved the hell out of that game to the point where I made Ash play it on stream.
That was a rough ride.
It was a rough ride, but it was a great
That was
game.
a rough ride.
The other one was Spiritfarer, and I cried my ass off through that entire fucking game, but I loved it. I had so much fun with it, and it's not a particularly hard game. It's not a particularly complex game, but it's got a good story. It's got characters that make me care about them, and I feel when I play the game. And I think that's the secret, is if you feel when you play the game, if you feel for the characters, if you feel for the story, that's what makes the difference. It's not,
I don't know, because video games are interactive fiction, right? And often the amount of involvement you feel, you get let down on it. So Mass Effect is the most obvious one.
Oh yeah.
Like you're told from the very first game that every decision you make, everything that you do, will lead up to the conclusion and it will influence through the game. All right, and you buy into that and you agonize over the decisions that you make with your character. How does my character feel about this? Would I take this choice or that choice? How's that going to knock on in the future? And then it came to nothing, right?
Yeah,
and
it's like three different colors at the end.
Yeah, and like the first The Last of Us game, right? I really enjoyed it. I bought into it, but at the end I felt that Joel's decision was so wrong, and that the game was suddenly abruptly taking choice away from me as the player as to what I wanted to do. You know, did I want to sacrifice her for all of the future young girls that would be born, or did I want to be a selfish cunt and murder the only people who are any hope for humanity, right? Mm-hmm. And yet I was still offended at the second one when they killed him off. So, but yeah, it made me care. But then it took the decision away from me, and that was a huge letdown.
Yeah. Well, see, like they should have given you the choice, because I get where you're coming from with that, but even I don't even really agree with you, because in my opinion, I don't think they would have been able to make a cure. Like, I don't think they had the resources and the reach and all that stuff to make a cure. They would have basically just killed her off, like, for no reason. But that's the beauty of like choices like that. You can make your own decision.
Yeah, like I think the two games I can think of recently, one was called This War of Mine. And it really dragged you into it. Another one was called Valiant Hearts. And I don't know why Valiant Hearts it's like a little goofy cartoon side scroller, but the story just drags you in, kicking and screaming, like no, because you can tell what's going to happen. It's like, come on, you. I'm like, no, you get dragged in, nails crawling to the floor and all that. But like, it's just, I like games that also surprise you. Like you don't see that shit coming. Like there was one that was about a black cat. I can't remember what it's called. Like the game's about a black cat trying to solve a mystery, and like it's
Stray.
It may have been Stray or Spay or something like that. But that thing was sneaking.
That's a different mystery.
Yes, I have Stray. It's actually really fun. And it's like the cat's stuck in like the city with like all the robots and the cyborgs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have that one. It's really fun.
And then I know some guys say, "Well, Dark Souls is so deep." Yeah, it's okay. Like Dark Souls is one of those games where it can kind of sort of drag you in, but some games go too hard. Like to me, I think Last of Us tries way too hard, in my opinion. I know that's going to sound like blasphemy to some, but Last of Us tries way too fucking hard to be sad, and like it's about being human. It's like you're pushing down on the Play-Doh cut really hard trying to get that star to fit.
I think the first one was alright with that. It wasn't trying to be sad. It was just showing the reality of living in an awful post-apocalyptic world. But then the second one definitely tried to like shoehorn in all these like little moments,
super deep moments. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think
we are.
I think that's because the first one was so successful at creating a mood and everything. They were suddenly like, I'm a genius who can do no wrong. Right, let's move on to the sequel. I remember a game on the Atari ST and the Amiga called Flood, which affected me deeply. You're this little squidgy little guy, and it's a platformer, and you have to constantly go up through the levels to evade the water that's coming up constantly. Okay. And you got boomerang, a little flamethrower, and occasionally when you pull out the flamethrower, you pull out a rubber chicken instead, and it goes pop, pop, pop. But you spend ages getting through all the levels. You finally get to the very surface of the earth. You pop out of a drain cover and a car runs you over. And that's the end of the game. But that just really gets you.
My God, that's such a gut punch.
I remember playing the first Red Dead Redemption, or even the second one. Like that one was a really good.
Red Dead hit a hell of a fucking core with some people. Like
yes, it did.
Yeah, well, even the second one too, though. Like both basically end on like a really bad note for the main characters, and you're just sitting there, like just listening to this sad like end credits song, and you're just trying to like absorb everything that just happened.
Well, there's something to be said for also music choice and like actual production value for some games. Like if the music's right, it'll completely pull the tone in as well.
Yeah.
But I believe in of course, spoiler alert. It's like what was the scene? Because it was a shootout, wasn't it? In the first game.
Like, you basically. You go back to your farm. You're like, you did your job for the government. You go back to your farm. You go out hunting with your kid and stuff. It shows like a little bit of family life. And then the government shows up with the cavalry, and you just walk out to confront them, and you just get shot by like 20 dudes, and you just
but
fall over dead.
that didn't work for me, right? Because for a while you get to fight the soldiers, right? And there's me, maxed out character, gunning down hundreds of soldiers with not a scratch on me, then expects me to believe that I just get gunned down.
That is that issue. Yes, I do agree with you. That is always a little bit jarring when games do that. You're like a badass. Like throughout the game, you like literally slaughter like 10,000 people, and then at the end, like one dude just like takes you out because it's a cutscene.
You have the like horses of the
Cutscene,
apocalypse.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I do want to say that, like for me, I don't know about you guys, but like for me, games are a whole package. Like the story isn't the be all and end all. Yes, the story is a very big part of it, but also there's a lot to be had about game design, gameplay, art design, lighting, sound design, and it all comes together as a whole. So if the story is, for lack of a better word, shit, there's so much else to bring it up. I mean, if we take Last of Us 2, for example, it's still sold tens of millions of copies. Not tens, but millions of copies, basically. And it made them a lot of money. Yes, the story of Last of Us 2 is a whole other argument, but the game looked great. It looked very good.
The thing is, though,
Let me
Ash,
counter you.
like, wasn't a lot of that sold based on the initial the initial week?
Well, yes, and then there was the initial, and then all the stuff came out, and then it still sold a lot anyway.
Well, normies are gonna normie. Like that's always the thing. Like, why do you think MCU movies still do great, even though we, as like nerds who are a bit more, what's the word? We're a bit more picky. Like we've despised the MCU since for the last 3 years, but normies still go see those movies.
Okay,
That's also sorry to cut you off, T-shirt. That's also part of my point is that one specific thing doesn't matter. Those of us where gaming really means a lot to us, we're gonna have these debates about this story is shit, this gameplay is bad, this sound is great, but this specific thing here, no, it's terrible. But because it means a lot to us. But where all the normies, where it won't mean a lot, where they just look at it as one whole package deal, then it's like, okay, let's get it. Yeah, it's okay. Give me the next one. Type thing.
All right.
Damn normies.
Okay, please don't talk over me because it's really hard for me to talk. But I'm gonna name a game that's I'm gonna say you're wrong, Ash. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. That's a game where it's all story, and it is so good. It doesn't matter how bad or good graphics are. It doesn't matter how bugged to shit the game was. You will still play it to completion because the story pulls you in. You want to know more. You want to finish the game, and when it's done, you want to go back and play it again just to see how things would have turned out different if you had done something differently, if you had started out as a different character, if you'd gone a different direction. I mean, who else on this panel has played it? Grim, you've played it.
No, I haven't. I played the earlier Vampire game. I never got on board with that one.
I also played that one. But yeah, no, I did play Bloodlines. I replayed it years later when that fan patch came out that fixes all the bugs and re-adds all the cut content, and it makes the game like 10 times better even. And the original was already great. But you're saying like, despite the bad graphics, when it first came out, the graphics were actually really amazing. That was like when the Source engine was like first became a thing, and it was based on the Source engine. So yeah, but like I do agree, it was very buggy at the time.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it now. Mm-hmm. It's still one of the great games that holds up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
After all this time, no matter how bad the graphics are.
Yeah, if you played with that fan patch, it's so good.
Yep.
I think Ash is kind of right because games are better when all of these things work together synergistically. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm always saying about tabletop games. It's best when the story and the system work together. To create something that's better than the sum of its parts. And so a game that has good graphics and good story and good gameplay is better than one that just has good graphics or just has good gameplay. You can get away with a lot if you have a good story, in the same way that old school Doctor Who got away with a lot of wobbly sets and tinfoil because the stories were good.
Yes.
Well, that is also, I'm not trying to argue like semantics, but more or less that's to me that's the exact same thing as early video games. They're still figuring it out. They're like, oh, how do we make this work? Oh, put a toilet plunger as his gun and trying to trash can upside down and make a Dalek. But after all this time, they were able to refine all that stuff, and I guess TV shows, we brought it up, are the exact same kind of pit as games, where you would think they'd be more refined. The formula would be more understandable. And we've seen modern shows come out, like the new Velma cartoon. It's just like, how the hell do we get this out of all these decades of knowledge and trial and error? Like, how is this thing existing right now? It always kind of blows my mind, because I can see why some folks will try and stretch the envelope, but there's a limit to how much you can stretch an envelope. You know what I mean? Like there's an end point you have to stop at eventually. Like making it purely. Well, it's like comparing Velma to like Blazing Saddles. Yes, both are very racially motivated. But
wait. So. Okay. We didn't get to talk about this last week because we were moving through topics too fast. But I did want to bring up Velma, and I just want to go on record as saying I haven't watched the entire thing. I haven't even really watched it, but I've seen clips from it, and that show deeply offends me. Particularly this scene right here. Well, you get it going. Here we go. And courtesy of Robot Head.
Mama, want to ride to school? We got champagne, and the driver has a funny story about how he survived the Khmer Rouge.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, it's just, how you so fucking tone deaf?
And this is supposed to be like progressive and woke too, which is like the weird thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm coming from. Coming from a place of absolute certainty and seriousness as a historian, the Cambodian genocide by the Khmer Rouge killed 2 million people. There's nothing funny about that. That's not a subject of humor. That's not something you make a joke out of. That's not fodder for comedy. That's offensive. That offends me. I'm not a Cambodian, and I'm not trying to virtue signal, but that is horrible. And I think anybody would agree with me on that. If they had made that same joke and it had been about the Holocaust, hey, the driver has a funny story about surviving the Holocaust, who would be laughing about that? They would have taken that show off the air immediately. They would have gone after that show. But because it's Cambodia, it's a small country, and I guess for whatever reason, they decided, Asians are good whipping boys. I don't know what the deal is. They thought they could get away with that joke, and I don't want to let them get away with that, because that's bullshit. That should not be allowed to ever show on anyone's program.
I'm very free speech when it comes to jokes. I think jokes should be able to be dark and all that stuff. So I don't fully agree with you. That's like out of line. But my problem with it is that these same people would go after any of us if we made like a show or a game or whatever, and we put in like even the most mildest joke about like say slavery or something.
True.
So they would like hound us to the ends of the earth. But then at the same time, they'll just casually drop a Khmer Rouge joke. So yeah, that is my main problem with it. Not so much that they made the joke, just hypocrisy.
They're not getting away with it. They think they're getting away with it, but look at the reaction on IMDb right now. 1.4 out of 10. It's the worst rated animated series ever. I think it's the third. I'm not sure, but I think the last time I read, it's the third worst show there, period. So they're not getting away with it. But because, and we talked about that particular subset is so very loud.
Yeah.
That loudness, that volume carries weight, and that's why I take shit. I'm loud and boisterous and say things I shouldn't and get people demonetized on YouTube. Hey, T-shirt. but the fact of the matter is, you need volume to compete with this. It's not that we're so incredibly crazy, and I agree with you, Vic. They can tell the joke. It wasn't funny. And it's reflected in how things are being presented now. So I don't think anyone thinks it's funny. I think that there are people, there are things that, if you choose to tiptoe into a Holocaust joke, into a joke with the Khmer Rouge, you get what's coming to you, and it's coming to you, and it's not coming to you in the form of Karen waggling her finger at you online. It's coming to you at, is Mindy Kaling going to get any gigs in the next 3 years? And the answer is probably no.
If you're going to go all in, if you're going to dip your toe into the like dark, edgy genocide jokes, make sure it's funny for one. Make sure that's going to land. But secondly, it's amazing how it's not even tongue in cheek. It's like tongue in your mouth. Funny joke. Like, God, get off me. Like that joke is as funny as Amy Schumer. It's not funny at all. Like it's just if you're gonna say a joke, make sure it's funny. I think having an unfunny joke is fine. Not every joke is gonna land, but you should be able to like make it and attempt it. But my problem is I'm very what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if they get to tell a Khmer Rouge joke, I get to tell a slavery joke. I get to tell whatever joke about something that they find very offensive. Victor takes off the racist gloves. Here we go.
I get to make all sorts of jokes that they would find horribly offensive. But no, that's not how it works. I would get immediately cancelled if I go after anything that is their pet little peeve. But they feel free to joke whatever the hell they want because they just don't even consider it. Yeah.
I'm more kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So I'm more in line with Victor's position. I think you can make jokes about pretty much anything. I think that's a huge part of the human coping mechanism to deal with horror is to make fun of it. And so I can kind of think of maybe there could be a funny joke about the genocide in Cambodia, about how I don't know, my father was hiding from the Khmer Rouge, walked into the road and got hit by a truck. Should have gone to Specsavers or something because they killed anyone who had glasses. Right? It says you could maybe construct some kind of clever joke, but that's not it, right? And I think what they meant to do was to make the white guy the butt of the joke, like they did throughout the rest of the episodes, by making him seem just hugely insensitive.
Tone deaf,
but it just didn't land. Well, that's me steel manning what they probably thought was going on.
So is the joke that the white guy's the one that said it? Because that's not funny either.
So they Fred as this like Fred is the stereotypical jock white dude who like can't cut his own food. He can't dress himself.
Well, he's got privilege.
Like
micro penis.
Say we had made a cartoon flipped around where Fred was a black guy doing all these horrible black guy things. We called him racist. Like it would be, but if it's a white dude doing it, who it's completely fine because you can't be white as a racist. You can't be racist as a white person at all. We're just simply the priority target number one for any kind of racist joke there could be. Like,
well, shit, those white guys can't leave the hobby soon enough.
Oh boy! Thank you for that segue.
Those darn honkies are everywhere, man. Gotta get them out of here.
I will say that one of the things I did just to kind of put a little bit of end cap on it. One of the things I was hearing was effectively the quote unquote second season was a series of episodes they had already paid for and already produced. So it was just a matter of they paid for it all together, and I don't think it's necessarily that because so many people watched it that it's going to get a second season. It's just we've already paid for the second season. We've already produced the episodes.
Grim, what are you watching?
That sounds pretty spicy.
Yeah, what was that?
I think that was my wife shouting at the cat.
Oh,
I was like,
Yeah, she yells at them like they know what they're doing.
okay, okay. Just I just wanted context. That's
I'm
all.
surprised you
not
heard
what
it.
I
'Cause you
heard
don't.
at all, but all right. I was like,
Everybody heard that. Did you see everybody on the panel?
Yeah, I was like looking around, like, who was that?
I was like, what are your toes doing, Grim? Jesus.
Well, she's American, so she's loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tracks. But yeah, why guys can't leave D&D soon enough, man.
Oh, good old Brink. Oh man, the gift that keeps WOTC is the gift that keeps on giving. Caster, how long have we been talking about WOTC? I think it's been since October.
Like, yeah, somewhere thereabouts. It's like every time I start to think, could we maybe go a week without talking about WOTC? No. Let's just send another executive producer out to send something. By the way, does anyone have a podcast with 5 subscribers? 'Cause apparently he's going on to all the tiny ones. Garbo,
He can come over to mine anytime.
That man would not survive my podcast. He'd be like, "Where's the band? But not, brother. You're in my house."
Yeah.
So I don't care.
He'd be like the
that guy-
substitute teacher in inner city school.
Yeah.
I was on Diversity and Dragons earlier this week, and I said, yeah, Kyle Brink is giving these interviews to all these other guys. They're giving it to like Ginny Dye and that other guy and everything else. And I'm like, he wouldn't last 10 minutes on this panel.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to feel bad for Ginny. She's got that DM burnout after 3 years.
Yeah, of course. Grim. I'm sorry.
Lol.
Oh my god.
I'm just worried because every time this meat puppet goes out and does another interview, and I get messages from people saying, "I think he's talking about you and Tabletopless," and I go and listen, and like, well, we don't do hateful content. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, you were saying that you're
You
hateful?
get to spank a lot, but not very hateful. You know, it's all fun.
Yeah.
Maybe you think
surely-
less are hateful. I don't know.
It's like surely these are the same people that would be very much in support of sex work. And it's like, well, you play with nothing but sex workers, so it's like,
Yeah.
in theory. But oh wait, that's right. I forgot what the one connecting piece was. It's you.
No, true. I am the J.K. Rowling of role playing games. Yeah.
Oh,
J.K. Rowling of sex role-playing games.
it's a niche,
You're a rich
but it's
liberal
mine.
woman? Jeez, fucking really let yourself go.
and speaking on that too, kind of as a adjacent tangent. Okay, so this week, D&D Beyond hit me with no less than 4 ads for Tales from the Golden Shower, which is their next adventure series, which is supposed to be about thievery. And every single one of these tweets got ratioed to hell and back. Most people are posting up the comment from Kyle Brink as their response. Or they're saying, I'm sorry, I'm white, I won't buy this, or I can't play this.
Yeah.
And I'm just laughing my ass off.
But it doesn't matter. They haven't responded. It's the same thing when the undermonetized statement happened. It's the same thing when OGL 1.2 happened, and then 1.3. There's no response. It's just deafening silence.
Oh, they're at this point, they're probably like, please shut up. We can't afford to say anything else.
Would you shut your fucking mouth? Holy shit! Get off Twitter.
Because what are we like? We're 2 weeks away from the release of Honor Among Thieves.
No,
we?
about a month and a half.
Oh, about a month and a half? What? I thought it was coming out in February. Or is it March?
March 31st.
March 31st.
Just have
Okay.
April Fool's Day because they want to. They
But
really
what-
want to go and tie it in.
Yeah. What pisses me off is, okay, Tales from the Golden Shower is not set to release until the end of the month.
That's such a stupid name. God damn it.
Well, yeah, that's why I keep calling it that. I think my name's better for it. So anyway, they are basically trying to cut out the friendly local gaming store by selling this, and people are calling them out on that shit. because you can go buy it and play it and use it from D&D Beyond right now and just totally cut the friendly local gaming store completely out of it. They'll never see a dime once you get it digitally. And I think that's horrible.
Let me just say, as someone that has a financial stake in one of our friendly local gaming stores, the store cannot even secure an order from the distributors yet. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, they've got you locked out.
Meanwhile, Wizards of the Coast D&D Beyond is currently experiencing a lot of problems, so the players are currently out of being able to play their own games.
Yeah,
that too. You're paying for that service, and the service is being interrupted.
And then all these zombies don't know how to roll a character without it being automated.
I'm sure they're being DDoS probably by just angry 4chaners, like, because this is something they do.
I have two crazy tinfoil hat conspiracies from this week, and
only two.
Just two this week. The first one is specifically they need someone to take a hit, so they're letting Kyle do the Kyle thing. They're letting Kyle say, "I didn't consult with my team." That was the other end of the interview that very few people are talking about. Is he did sort of backhandedly throw himself under the bus, and I don't think he realized. He said, "I didn't consult with my team with the OGL debacle," and then he says the white guys thing. Maybe they need an Oswald, and Kyle's the Oswald. He hasn't been there long.
So who's going to be the Jack Ruby?
Who knows? Who knows? But that's like my first conspiracy theory is they can end it from their perspective with everyone that buys their dialogue. Oh, you know what? The head had to answer for it. Kyle's gone. Kyle said X, Kyle said Y. Kyle was ultimately responsible for all of this backlash. Bye-bye, Kyle. And then, from their perspective, have that clean slate.
Yeah.
Well, I actually kind of believe some of the things he was saying, that there is that disconnect between sort of the people working on the game and the corporate suits, because a lot of this does scream like that corporate suit mentality.
But he's a corporate suit.
Considering they brought in a woman who worked in the tobacco industry, who's trying to work on getting people addicted.
Smoke.
D&D causes cancer. Official.
Rauken is turtlick.
The funny thing about this whole Kyle thing is like all the people on Twitter who's like, "Oh, you right-wing reactionaries are taking him out of context. Here's the actual context," and then their context is just as racist, if not more so.
Yeah,
it's like
worse.
No, he didn't say like white people should leave the game. He's saying that they should all die. You right-wing reactionaries. I'm like, oh, okay, that's better then, I guess.
Thanks.
Guess I'll die.
Yeah.
Guess I'll die then. I'll die white.
The sad thing is, of all of us here on this panel, Esh probably has access to it already.
Yeah, I do.
See? Because it's not because he bought it, because of the university thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's how we like. Everyone plays. Most people play 5e, and we all have access to all the source material that way, through like shared content and stuff. So that's how we can all like play all our games online, and I'm sort of like, maybe it's not the best idea to do that considering what's going on, but it's like, because I'm new to the hobby, it's like because of the accessibility of all the stuff. Where else do I start, really? Like, yes, there's books out there, but if I want to play Dungeons and Dragons, like 5e and the accessibility of it online, it's like, okay, it's all there, and everyone's already using it, so I'll just join the crowd, and then we're all playing and we're all having a good time together. So it's like, but then I hear about all this other crap, and it's like, oh, I don't know, guys, like, yeah.
It's the perfect time to lateral the other guys, Ash. It really is. Because unless they are lockstep sparkle trolls, you can get them to the right side.
Yes.
Well, to put it into perspective, there's going to be no new campaigns at the moment because there's about 8 DMs to about 90 active players. And a bunch of those, our tabletop site is huge. And
It feels like the time to bring in a West Marches style campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the right time to drop Grim stuff and see what they all think about that.
That's the one big problem with
Don't.
5e.
You want to graduate, don't you?
Yeah. One of the big problems with 5e is the DM shortage, and there's like various theories of why it is. Maybe people just they don't feel confident even trying it because they think you have to. Yeah, they think you have to be Matt Mercer and you have to be like the improv master and do like 600 voices to be able to like be a DM. But that's why I think it's helpful to show like like you've been doing T-shirt like your Scarlet Heroes like let's play your streams and stuff. Show people like no, like this is actually like how it's supposed to be done. It's just a bunch of awkward nerds sitting around, fucking playing their game and having fun.
How dare you call Grim an awkward nerd?
Okay, he's an
very
awkward
nerd.
So this actually yesterday, in fact, I had a random coworker walk up to me, and he was like all excited about how he's finally starting to play, and he's kind of starting to play with 5e, and I'm like, I'm trying everything in my effort to not just go into all the Wizards of the Coast stuff. I'm like, oh, I really want to talk about this. It's like let's
enjoy your fun.
I'm like,
to be honest,
tell you what, add me on Discord. I will start sending you links to other games. Let's take baby steps.
Tinfoil Hat conspiracy number 2 from the week. Hasbro, with their performance, is trying to bang down the value of Wizards as an entity from not only D&D but Magic the Gathering. If you guys saw the late week stuff that they're doing with Magic, so that it can get to a number that is actually saleable. So there you go. You got them both, Vic. Both tinfoil conspiracy theories this week.
Nice. I love myself.
Okay, that's the thing. The thing is that's counterintuitive to the idea of a corporation to try to maximize the profit in that. I'm like,
it's already a loss. It's already a loss. Everything that they've put into it can be a write-off, but it's too valuable. Legitimately so. The IP is too valuable for them to sell it. It's not marketable. It's like if you bought a house during the housing boom and you paid 1.752x the value. You need to get that house back down to where market price is. Market price right now, with inflation and other economic bullshit, they need to drive down the Wizard's value to get it to a point where someone might actually say, oh, okay, we can buy that.
And that's why I took a shit in the fireplace.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just shelf it at some point. It's like, yeah, we're just going to shelf it for like 5 years and then see how things go, and then we'll just bring it back. I don't know.
I don't think things with D&D, they can kind of write off the coattails. They just let it kind of sit, and it becomes like a stagnant brand that just kind of casually keeps generating revenue.
Yeah, but with no staff and no content, it's going to visibly be a dead property if they do that, and that's like a non-starter. They can't go that route.
Yeah.
So, I have this month report for Hasbro stock. Right now, it is at $57.38, which is down $8.50 or 12.90% over the last month, and this is over the month.
Jeez.
Why would you self-tank like that just for a sell-off? It's like, why would you? It's like, I want a new foot. I better blow mine off. Like, to me, it seems. I guess it's some kind of like masterful strategy and marketing. I'm like, that's me as a layman goes, that's fucking stupid.
Bank of America has already gone after Hasbro, talking about how they are losing consumer confidence.
You want to hear something bad? Something sad?
Yeah.
I bought in at $89.
Aww.
I started shorting it about that. No joke, I did. I started shorting it at about $89, and I quit shorting at $60 because it's now in the territory where they're below resistance. So.
You're saying funny words, Magic Man. I like you.
Sorry, I'll be less Jewy.
Yeah.
You're not that far off. Economics is voodoo. No one knows how it works.
Ryan Davis' makeup starts running, and we just find out he's like a green goblin. He takes off his headphones and his big pointy ears pop out.
Ryan, he's directly attacking my fucking credit score.
He works on Gringotts.
Like, I mean, I get how, like, basically stocks are a giant game and all that, but you think the point would be to be successful, and when you have an IP like Dungeons and Dragons, normally you don't think they were like, let's just start bleeding ourselves with leeches. Like, that seems like
there are acceptable losses.
I guess it's like sometimes me as a prior soldier, as a I'm like. I look at it and kind of going, like, that's fucking stupid. Like, I don't get why you want to do that.
Right, we're role players, right? I think everything they've done, you know, if you put yourself into the headspace of a conventional business person who has worked with computer game properties and monetization of that and knows absolutely nothing about tabletop games, if you put yourself in that headspace, everything they've done makes sense. Mm-hmm. They just don't know what they're doing with this market because it's so different.
Well, I guess their goal is to make money and not create things. I guess that's one.
Yeah, but because they know nothing about it,
yeah.
They've almost guaranteed. Well, they have guaranteed they're going to make less money than they would have if they had done nothing.
Tabletop is a very specific little culture with a very specific own like rules and just the way things are done, and they just don't understand it at all.
I mean, they think they do. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I tell you what. You know what it ties into is movies, because as go movies and TV shows and stuff, so goes D&D apparently, which is why.
The world of The Witcher, Blood Origin, is a medieval realm divided into three kingdoms that have been at war for 1,000 years. Want to explore the exotic serpent clan who serve the southern kingdom of Darwin? Well, be introduced to a mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino people you would find in relative proportion in metropolitan Los Angeles.
I don't feel
What
represented.
about the Raven clan that defends the northern kingdom of Prussia, a place where the inhabitants are the same mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino in relative proportion to metropolitan Los Angeles? Finally, take a journey to the mysterious far-off kingdom of Zintrea, where the folk are the same mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino in relative proportion to metropolitan Los Angeles. But don't fear, if you still have a yearning for exotic medieval fantasy, then embark on a journey of escapist epic adventure in Willow, set in the ancient kingdom of Ter Azlin, where the folk are the same mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino in relative proportion to metropolitan Los Angeles.
I hate how true this is, though. You
And
know?
from there, be swept away in the grand fantasy spectacle of the Lord of the Rings of Power, where the insular island society of Numenor is made up of a mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino people in relative proportion to metropolitan Los Angeles. Then be swept forth to the distant and utterly different geography and climate of the Southlands, a pastoral folk made up of exactly the same mix of Caucasian, Black, Asian, and Latino people in relative proportion to metropolitan
I can
Los
hear the
Angeles.
check marks.
I regret that I just ran out of alcohol now.
All right. Hey, Kyle, bringing it. We got Black, Asian, White. Send them in. Okay,
That's
so
true.
Lords,
I
Black,
have to test
Asian, White.
I
Send
haven't
them in.
cracked this open yet, and Lord of the Rings was mentioned, so
Yeah.
But there
Terry,
is
we
still.
we got the water people. Yeah, Black, White, Asian. Yeah, send them in. Like it's just
We got the fantasy Vikings. Yeah, we've got the black ones over there.
Black, White, Asian. Send them in.
speaking of Vikings,
Nice.
Hey, we're holding the movie in ancient, not India, right? Yeah, Black, White, Asian. Yeah, send them in. No Indians. Fuck it, they'll figure it out.
Why does the Frost have to be bisexual?
Because somebody had to be.
You know, swings
Little
both
thing you
ways.
hear like,
Oh yeah. By the way, make sure one of those black guys is a gay. Yeah, thanks, Terry. Yeah, send him in.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It matters, though, to that vocal group. Hey, I figured out this work 2 weeks ago. Yeah, there they are.
Yeah.
It matters. It matters. And everybody else is laughing at it like we are, or not saying anything because it's the polite thing to do. And unfortunately, you have the volume of that minority.
I just wish they shut the fuck up.
Well, there's
Yes.
the minority
Shut the fuck
that's
up.
too polite. I think it's
suck.
different. I think there's three groups. There's us who openly make fun of it. There's the minority who stay quiet because they're polite, and then there's like the Twitter activists who are like in direct opposition to us, who will try to make fun of it and basically paint us as like horrible Nazis. So
You guys just hate black people. No, we're in Northern Ireland. You shouldn't be here, bro. Like,
We're in Northern Ireland in the 9th century. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be.
yeah.
Let's not forget this wonderful comment.
Jacksonification?
Grim, would you mind reading that out loud for us, please?
Lord of the Rings, 5 out of 10. I just can't get over the Jacksonification. So much destruction of characters, structure, and meaning. Fellowship of the Ring, only 7 out of 10. Hobbit, 4 out of 10. I don't know what the DJ stands for, but 6 out of 10. No further comment. Rings of Power, 8 out of 10. Understands and presents Tolkien way more in keeping with Tolkien.
I'm gonna.
Oh, UJ was Unexpected Journey.
Yeah, Unexpected Journey.
it's like the people that say that the Star Wars sequels are better than the originals. Like there's those weirdos are out there somewhere. Like
But they were. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
This is why we used to have asylums.
Well, they are going. Disney is considering regendering Luke now, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
God, I
they're
heard-
considering making him bisexual.
The gay list, that's right. They updated all the pronouns for all of our heroes.
Well, they're also considering making Luke bisexual because apparently in like some recent book that was written, he was like he had feelings for a guy. So now that's canon.
Don't you dare say book. It was fucking fan fiction they self-published. Don't do that
Fan
shit.
fiction.
Yeah.
It was fan fiction they self-published. Though that way they could push this gay Luke agenda.
Yeah.
We all know for a fact that Luke's saber is not a vibration setting. All right, it doesn't fucking happen. This is all fan fiction. They're fucking like I get it. I get that you want to push for fan fiction and in your own writings, but A, how is Lucas or Disney even allowing it to happen? And B, it's fan fiction. Like I went and found it in Reddit. A, somehow they write worse than me by some mark. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
Oh, was it Chuck Wendig then?
Oh no.
Check Windy. But like I went and read that thing, and honestly, it reads
Hold
like
his pants
Tumblr
down,
fan
all
fiction.
jerkily.
Bro. Like I read it. It reads like Tumblr fan fiction. Like they want this to be gay so bad. It's like oh my god. Like you read it and you feel your will to live fading as you read. Like
Okay.
And if he is. Just let it happen organically through a fucking story.
Exactly.
That's all I want.
But we need to market it.
Okay, so Brett Cohen asked where he could get that clip from. That is courtesy of the Echo Chamberlain, who has a really good YouTube channel, and you totally need to see it. I just posted the link for it there in the chat. And yeah, the name of the thing is Every Fantasy World is like Los Angeles now.
I can't wait for I can't wait for the one episode in the next season of Book of Boba Fett where Boba Fett lovingly mating presses Luke on like a bed covered with rose petals. Like
lovingly. There's nothing about the word lovingly and mating press should never go together. It's violent.
Oh, he's Boba Fett. He's just that skilled.
I tried to read some Chuck Wendig once, and
mating press.
fortunately they got the knife out of my hand before I could gouge my eyes out. But
I still can't touch forks.
I used to hang out on Wendig's blog because he used to do these really interesting writing prompts, and you could meet up with other writers and so on in the comments. But then I realised that he's just a bully. It's just he bullies people that it's acceptable to bully. And once I realised that, I didn't want anything more to do with him.
Oh, white people?
Yeah.
White.
Get bullied, cracker boy. I mean, this is like... It's also tiresome. It's also tiresome.
Max from
man.
Legion says, didn't Wendick make Tarkin gay or something? Yeah, I believe he actually did. Which,
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
that's totally like, the gay representation that they want. Like, creepy old fucking, what is it? Is it, what's his name? Not Christopher Lee. What's his face?
Cushing.
Yeah, Cushing.
Peter
Like one of
Cushing,
those
yeah.
Hammer actors. Like, yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
people want to see. Him making out with a twink in their tight little Empire uniforms.
It's just because he's dead that they can get away with it.
Yeah.
I like the way your pants are so tight, but your legs are so poofy. I know, talking. I made them just.
Well,
for
explains
you.
why he was such a
Alright.
dick to Leia.
When you're fully inserted, you may fire when ready.
I bet he even made him the bottom.
Thanks, Satan.
Small thermal exhaust port, right?
Yes.
I gotta wash this image out of my mind now.
You could fit a.
I'm done. I'm done with Grinder. I meet Alderaan people.
Done with Grinder, is that what you said?
Yes.
The real reason they destroyed Alderaan is he had to keep that secret.
They
If
left
they were
me on
really
red
brave-
5 times. No longer.
Dead
they were really
planets
brave-
tell no tales.
If they were really brave, they would have made his boyfriend like one of those pig people. What are they called? The green ones?
Morians.
Yeah. This big muscle gut.
Oh my God, Raji is live right now. I'm going to lose all my
Speaking of
streamers.
big naked muscle guts.
Yeah. Lamentations of the Flame Princess is live right now, guys. It's a good thing we're going to end in about a few minutes. So, 'cause I want to go over there and catch his stream because I love that dude. And I wish he was back on the show. If we can get him back on.
So, out of curiosity, did any of you guys happen to catch this Hi-Fi Rush game out?
Hi-Fi Rush?
We talked to, I think I talked about it earlier with somebody, and
What's
it was a really good game, apparently.
Yeah, it was like this little game that it was Bethesda, like stealth dropped out of nowhere.
Mhm.
That was like taking away all the attention from Forspoken.
Because Forspoken is terrible.
Yeah.
I don't like how video games make me sad. It's make me sad, man.
No,
Like-
no. I like when video games make me sad, okay? I cried my eyes out over Spiritfarer. I don't like it when video games make me sad for existing. I want them to make me sad with their gameplay.
Make me lose the will to live.
Yeah, that's that's better. Yes, that's much better.
I miss the old, like, I sound like a boomer now. I miss the way games were back in the day, man. There were platformers with stories and chicks with big titties. What happened to video games, man? It's like,
Yeah. All
Oh my
right.
God.
Well, anyway, unless anybody's got anything, my voice is dying, and I want to go see Lamentations of the Flame Princess. So
I
you wanna
can't
close it
wait
out?
for the new Honor Among Thieves Dungeons and Dragons movie to come out. That'd be fun, right, guys?
Excuse me, guard.
You go to hell. You go to hell and you die.
Thank you.
Go to hell and you die. Oh my gosh. I got nothing else. It's just there's nothing good to talk about. It's all shit, really.
Well,
It's
we
all
we talked about some good stuff. It's not all shit. There's good
That's
stuff
true.
out there. There's good stuff to enjoy. We try to talk about it where we can. It's just we're also gonna hit the bad stuff too because it exists, and there's more of it right now than there is good stuff apparently. Here's
Yeah,
one
there's
last
loads
good
of it.
thing. Here's one last good thing. Right here. I just got this today. This is Ghost Shard. This is by the same guy who does who did the Berserk with the serial numbers filed off. And it's really nice. It's a role-playing game. It's also a solo game.
So
Yeah. It can be solo. See, it's got solo rules.
you can play with yourself. Trying to tell
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But it's fun. I like it. I'm looking forward to exploring it some more. The only thing that kind of hacks me off is the fact that he just released some changes to it and some clarifications and corrections. And I already bought the goddamn hard copy.
Oh yeah.
So now I gotta buy another one. God damn it! Thanks,
He got
Alex.
you. He got you.
Just print the errata and or not what it's called. Is it not? No, not errata. What's the word when they like have like little list of like the changes? Is it errata? Okay, I was right. Just print that and just put it in the book and be done.
Yeah.
Erotica.
Just cross it out and write it in.
I'm gonna have to. But on that note,
As I cringe.
but anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy your week. I'm gonna try to get better. Grim has a stream tomorrow with me. Yep. We're gonna be playing Barbarians of Lemuria, and I hope I have a voice.
You're playing a barbarian, aren't you? You can just grunt and point. It'll be fine.
Hang on. Let's test it out real quick. Let me see if this will work. Just give me a second or a few minutes here. No. So if I use this, how bad do I sound? There we go. How's it sound now?
Sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
Overlords are coming.
Could be a barbarian robot.
Yeah.
All right, so if I use this, how does it sound?
Sounds like you're on Nightline.
Is that good or bad?
What identity are you withholding?
You sound like the evil truck from Knight Rider.
You can identify whatever you want, like.
And then Uncle Jim came into my room and he touched me in my happy space.
We have your wife. Why are $1 million? Like.
I'm getting hints of Diana Feinstein in there somewhere. I'm not sure where it's coming from though. The weird demonic twinge, you know.
Does it work? Oh, you know this one could go like full Megatron. We must destroy the Autobots. Starscream.
See Patty comment.
Don't wanna.
Like her deep throat on the internet on a Skype call.
Everyone goes robot.
But yeah. Yeah, barbarians are easy. But yeah.
Come.
Stop interrupting me, goddammit. My voice can't take it.
But yes, tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK on the Grim Streams channel.
Okay, so we'll be on your channel.
Yes.
Okay. So no, I can't pull your viewers to my stream. Okay, I see how it is.
Well, we'll inform them again about Scarlet Heroes, and then maybe they'll come over to your channel.
Oh, okay, that'd be good. Yeah.
Download it afterwards and put it also on your channel as like an actual non-live video.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the book. Yeah.
I did get the book. Yes.
You got soft cover though.
Well, it was the only one I could find, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Grim's going soft. There's a pill for that, bud.
hey, I challenge you to join us, Guard Bro.
When?
Next week.
Next week. I might be in the woods next week, but I'll see.
Okay.
Doing normal things.
Yeah, in maid outfits.
Shut up.
Okay.
Well, no one has tidied up the woods in a very long time, so it needs a lot of dusting.
Yeah.
There are so many leaves.
So
many leaves.
We gotta clear out the underbrush.
Is that euphemism?
What you call it? I got some underbrush for you to clean here, buddy.
With a
Use your
lawnmower
mouth.
2.0.
Underbrush has a sound.
This stream is brought to you by Manscaped.
Oh no! I wish it were Manscaped. If you want to pay us some money, we will definitely shill for you. Okay.
Imagine if they paid Grim a sponsorship on like a fucking porn channel brought to you by Manscaped. We gotta shave in his chest live on stream naked.
Brought to you by Bad Dragon. Tabletop list.
Ding. All right.
Meanwhile, back to Stalewater.
Yes. Soon.
That's next week.
Soon.
That's next week. That's not this week.
All right.
I got asked to DM a live game, so we'll have to see how that goes once it happens. Should be fun.
That'll be fun.
6 hours of riffing.
Do they have this in there for you?
Dutch are scum.
I mean, People just have to watch, and they'll find out themselves that the Dutch are indeed scum.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with me, guys, and thanks for keeping my voice from dying completely. I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, but I'll try to baby it for the rest of the night. Hopefully, hopefully Snowdub won't stream tonight, or maybe he'll give me the night off.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Thanks for hanging out with us, and have a great week in Geek.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
How do you overcome the suffering of life?